this is Natalie and you are watching Femme in Film. So this vlog is just going to discuss common themes and patterns that I found within the last vlogs and kind of closing thoughts on how women are seen represented in these contemporary films. So right now we're in the age of post-feminism, which I have a quote from Elena Levine. So Elena Levine defines post-feminism as characterized by a belief that the goals of the feminist movement of the 1970s has been accomplished, and thus that there is no need to continue a fight that has already been won. So post-feminism is really promoting this idea of choice for women, that now we don't live in the same constraints that we've had in previous generations, that we can't choose different paths we want to go down to, and we're not constrained to be the traditional woman. But if we want to be the traditional woman, there's also power in that choice because we have other avenues that we'd like to go down and that we now have the ability to. So I've been looking through these films within the post-feminist lens and realizing that equality hasn't been achieved and there's still work that needs to be done. And I find that there's a lot of commonality between the representation in these mainstream films and the placement of women and the structures of society, that they come hand in hand in the way that society functions is going to be how these mainstream films represent different kinds of people. So men, women are also bringing in intersectionality, is that different kinds of women and different kinds of men are also represented in usually stereotypical or traditional ways. So I feel that this vlog was really trying to expose this idea of women still needing to find their agency in film, and that equality hasn't been achieved, and that women still don't have the same autonomy and agency and ability to make decisions in these representations of film, which is reflective on our society. So I think that this vlog is really trying to initiate the discussion of these representations and locate where exactly these females exist within these roles and what problems occur within their characterization and representation. And I was researching the top films that women are assumed to have a lot of power and agency and strong female roles. And the top two films were Mr. and Mrs. Smith featuring Angelina Jolie and Charlie's Angels from 2001. So when you think about those films, I don't know if women viewers are really like, wow, yeah, those really were empowering roles, because I think there's a large focus on their over-sexualization, which takes away from their agency because they have to really expose their body in an over-sexualized way in order to get the agency that they have. So I wouldn't really describe those two films as films that really increase the agency that women have in film. So just the fact that that's how mainstream conversations occur and really feel that women do have this power in film is why I think this vlog is so important, because it's really going under the surface and looking at, oh, maybe really those roles aren't so powerful and they're really continuing the structures of film and the structure that continues to over-sexualize women, and that is the only way that they can achieve agency. So I think within these films we really found that their representations are still in support of hegemony, in support of masculine dominance and the strong, fearless man who's able to have more autonomy, and the hegemonic structures of women being found in these maternal traditional roles that they can't really yet escape. So I think that this vlog is only one way to really start the discussion and realize that the equality has not yet been achieved, and if we accept the idea that there's equality and continue to avoid this conversation or ignore or accept the way that women are represented in film, then we're continuing to support a structure that really limits women in their representations and ultimately limits women in society. So I hope that you've enjoyed this vlog, and I hope to continue to make more vlogs, and my plan is to really start bringing in more intersectionality, because it's important to not just look at women in film, but to look at how different groups of women are represented. I think that's really important, and I really would like to just continue this conversation of the representation of women in film, because I think it's just very important to locate women and see if women really have all the agency that they are promoted to have. So thank you. This is Natalie in Femme and Film.